Okay, let's do round 14, Better Together Afghan. 14, there's a couple tips. When starting 14th round, don't overlook the first single chain or single crochet. I will show you that in a second. And then the sides are not symmetrical, so make sure you just have the correct number of shells. It might look a little funny. And if you haven't done a shell before, it says somewhere in here to shell. If you go back, when you have a pattern, go back to the first page of your pattern. It will have a listing of special stitches and how to do them. And in this instance, a shell is 7 double crochets in the same stitch. So I started with joining D to a slip stitch in the corner. I already chained 3. And the first thing I'm going to do is double crochet 11 times in the same space as my slip stitch. So that's going to be my corner space. So I'm going to put 11 double crochets in there. And you can see that I'm tucking my tail in from joining, just so that I don't have to worry about stitching it in later. Of course, I lost my count since I'm talking, so I'm going to do a couple more and then I'll count them. And when you are putting this many stitches into one space, sometimes you might have to squish them together to get them all to fit in there. So you just kind of scooch them all over. Let's see where we're at. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so here I'm going to show you why it's telling us to be careful not to skip that first stitch when we're going on. So as you can see, when you crochet that many stitches on, you kind of covered up that first stitch. So you need to get in there and make sure that you don't forget that stitch. This stitch is the treble. So that's actually your second stitch. The single crochet is inside there. So we want to, let's see, skip 2. So we're going to skip the single crochet and the treble. And then we are going to 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So we're going to skip the single crochet in the corner that's covered up. We're going to skip the treble, and then we're going to single crochet into the third stitch on the side. And then we're going to we're going to skip 2 more stitches. So we're going to skip the next 2 single crochets, and then we're going to shell into the next stitch, which is going to be your treble from the previous row. So a shell is 7 double crochets. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip these 2, and I'm going to put 7 into here. So all the way across, whenever it says shell, you're just going to put 7 double crochets into that space. And we're going to have several rows of this. Whoops. So you'll get used to doing it. Whoops. My yarn is falling apart a little bit here. I did get all red heart yarn for this, so it should work really well with the pattern, as it's a pattern that's made by Red Heart. Of course, we still all crochet, some of us tighter and some of us looser, and that's okay. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one more. Okay, so I've got my 7, and then I am going to repeat from the star until I get to the last 3 stitches before the corner. So you're going to go all the way across the side. I'm going to again skip 2 stitches, which is going to be 1, 2, and then I'm going to single crochet into that third. And then I'm going to skip 2 more and shell into the next. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, and I'm going to put 7 double crochets here. And I'm going to go ahead and do that all the way down this side, and then I'll come back for the next set of instructions at the corner. Okay, I have my shells all the way across. I just want to make sure, it says I should have 6 shells per side, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so we're good there. I have 3 stitches left, which is what I'm supposed to have, so we're good there. So I'm going to skip 1, which is going to be this last single crochet, and then I'm going to single crochet into the last treble. And then it tells me to skip the last stitch and do 12 double crochets in the corner. So this is kind of like doing 2 shells, not exactly 2 shells, but very close. The reason why we need extras in the corner is to get us around that corner onto the next side. Don't worry about my tails that you see. These are from the previous row, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stitch that in to my shell so that it's nice and secure. And like before, to get your 12 in there, you're gonna have to squish them together every once in a while. And then this is actually my tail from a couple rows before, but it is not far down there, so I'm gonna, if it will fit, I'm gonna also stitch that into here too. I think it might be a little too far over, but anytime I can stitch my tails in as I go, that's what I'm going to do. Oopsie. My yarn's a little bit messy here too. Let's see where we're at. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more. All right, there's my 12. Now I'm gonna go back up to my, and it says to do this 3 times, which is gonna take us around, 3 more times, take us around 3 sides. And I am going to go back to the beginning of my brackets and my first star, and I'm just going to start over. So I'm going to skip 2 stitches again. Make sure you count that first single crochet. You can't actually see it because it's under your shell, but you can see that there's a single crochet here, and then this first stitch you see actually goes to this treble. So if I skip the single crochet, I am going to single crochet into this treble. Nope, it says to skip 2 stitches, not 1. So I'm going to single crochet in the stitch after the treble. So I'm going to skip this one, I'm going to skip the treble, and then I'm going to single crochet here. And then I am going to skip 2 stitches and shell into the next, and then it's gonna just, that's what I'm gonna be doing the whole way around. So you're gonna go around the rest of your sides, and then I will come back to join at the end. Okay, I've got all 4 sides done. I have 6 shells on each side, and there are several ways that you can keep track as you go if you're interested in making sure your count's the same. I did have the correct count on the row before. I've been making sure after each row. So a few things I did during this row was after each shell I counted to make sure I had 7. When I got to the end of each side, I made sure that I was ending with 3 stitches left. And I then, after I was done, I counted and made sure that I had 6 shells. So all 3 of those things will help you make sure that your count is correct for this side, instead of at the end. Then at the end you don't have to go back through and count every single stitch, because I know that's daunting. So I do little tricks throughout to keep track as I go, so then at the end I already know that everything is good. As long as I ended up in the right spot, I know that everything is good because I've been making sure and double checking myself the whole time. So you're gonna go ahead and join. Let me just make sure. Go to the double star, skip next, and next stitch. Okay, so I needed to single crochet. So I needed to actually single crochet first. So I'm gonna single crochet down into, skip the stitch, I'm gonna single crochet down into there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and slip stitch to this. And it says fasten off. Let me just check. Round 15 says, yeah, so I'm gonna need to start in a specific spot on round 15. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off and fasten off, and then move on to round 15. Let me know if you have any questions.